Welcome to the college football playoff. The season's had plenty of ups and downs, and all the drama has led up to this point, the first round of the 12-team playoff. And a home field advantage for one side. This place is rocking. We have a great battle for us here tonight. Two teams with championship aspirations, but trying to define the odds and take a big step closer to that national championship. As we'll see the number 10 seed in this playoff, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, taking on the number 7 seed in the playoff, the Tennessee Volunteers. 3A Sports College Football, I'm Chris Fowler, joined as always by Kirk Herbstreit. We have been waiting for this, the college football playoff with an on-campus environment. Can't wait to get this going. The kickoff team is out there. Great energy as this college football playoff gets underway. So it'll be a touchback. Ball spotted at the 25. Just underway, and this home crowd is fired up and ready to make a difference today. A handoff to the back. It's a big game before he goes out of bounds. It'll move the sticks, more than enough for a first down.
Chris, I know it's the first play of the game, but boy, nice job by this offensive line. The back gets behind him, picks up some positive yards.
It's a strong run, keeps the drive going. First down now. And the same runner's got it again. Nowhere to run. They'll corral him for no gain.
Chris, textbook job by the defense surrounding the runner and preventing that play from being bounced to the outside.
The offense with 5 receivers now, empty backfield. They look to throw it here on second down. Quarterback moving out of the pocket, trying to create. It's incomplete. He took a hit as he threw the football, and it brings up a third down.
Well, sometimes an answer for an offensive coordinator against a good pass rush is to move the launching point, move the quarterback from one spot to another to affect the rhythm of the pass rush. That's not having any kind of impact at all on this defense. They're getting after this quarterback no matter where he is. They do a good job of it right here.
Drops back, looking to throw for it on third down. Pressure is coming. With the catch, it's Siegel. Defense will wrap him up after an 8-yard gain. It'll bring up fourth down.
Chris, great effort here by this defense to keep him short of the first down. Now they've got a tough decision to make here on this fourth down and short.
The offense stays on the field in this opening drive. They'll go for it in their own territory. Fourth down, looking to throw for it. They can't connect. A costly turnover on downs.
Interesting call here early, showing that they're coming in with an aggressive mindset, but they come up short of the first down.
The guys up front line up. It's first down. He'll come out throwing here to start the drive. While taking his shot on the very first play. Oh, it's picked off. What a play. And that's a solid return after the interception.
Sometimes that primetime game, the whole nation is watching, brings out some extra energy, some nerves. Maybe the quarterback is feeling that a little bit. I did not expect him to throw a pick, especially on the opening drive.
So here comes the Notre Dame offense back onto the field. Last time they gambled and lost. Went for it in fourth down in their territory and got stopped.
In the era that we live in right now, everybody wants to spread the field around, try to create space, try to create one-on-one matchups, and the defense has countered over the years by trying to play out wide. But here's a great example. The defense has the ability to play wide, but still be solid at the line of scrimmage and not give up big run plays.
Offense getting set. Second down play here. Quarterback sets up, looking for an open man. Catch made on the right side. To get him down quickly, not much of a gain on that completion. Notre Dame comes to the line quickly. Out of the gun now on third down. Receiver makes the grab. They bring him down, but an explosive play by this offense. Big gain.
Well, that's exactly how you dice up a zone coverage. Nice throw downfield here on third down, and a really good route to give the quarterback a chance to make that play.
On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. Pulls it in. It's Siegel. They tackle him, but the gain moves the ball to the 36. The tackle made, but the sophomore quarterback showing us the arm strength.
Just great timing here with this quarterback and his wide receiver to pick up this first down. And really over the years, that's what Notre Dame's looking to get back to consistently, is being able to complement what they can do by running the football and to have a quarterback that can drop back and make the throw like this and keep the sticks moving and keep his offense out of harm's way.
Quarterback wants to throw it on second down. Looking for his big tight end. He's a wide open receiver, complete. Tackle made quickly at the 9, but now it's 1st and goal.
That's what makes this tight end so dangerous. You can flex him out into that slot position. He shows you his versatility. He can be an inline guy that can block, but here he shows you what he can do with his hands.
He's got it near the end zone, and he will score. Touchdown, Irish. And they get set now to try the PAT. PAT makes it 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they get set to send this one away.
Tennessee, 0. Return runs out.
And Tennessee's high-powered offense is back out on the field. Remember, the last possession ended quickly. The interception on the first play. Let's see if they can do better here. Opening play of the drive, quick throw to the left. Moves his way for a first down to the 35. A running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs.
Well, this is what coaches love to see. A quarterback with the ability to read the defense properly and then just get it to the open man. Sometimes it sounds simple, but it's tough to execute. This time we have good recognition by the quarterback. Then he gets it down to the tight end. You can see what he can do after the catch.
What's the play call here on second down for this offense? And they'll run it out of the shotgun. They stop him, but it's a first down.
That's just good, hard running by this back. And, man, they've had some good ones over the years. Go back to Jamal Lewis, who was on that 98 national championship team. Travis Henry, Arian Foster. Boy, Chris, some big physical backs come to mind when you think about the Tennessee Vols.
Quick throw complete to the tight end.
Just a good job of spreading the wealth, making sure everybody's getting their touches. When you do that, the defense can't lock in on one guy or two guys. Make them have to be aware of everybody, and allows you to continue to spread the ball around and spread the field, making it tougher for this defense.
And he's brought down, but there is a flag on the field, so let's check this call. That stings for the offense. Penalty will cost him 10 yards. Getting set. Here's second down. There's the snap. They'll set up to throw. That's reeled in. It's Lewis. Defense surrounds him. Just a short gain on that completion.
Really good defenses put an emphasis on winning the early downs. That means holding your own on first and second down. So you force the offense to consistently have to try on third and long. That's exactly what's happened here in this series.
ball's lining up here on 1st and 10. The shotgun handoff here. Tackle made at the 24-yard line. This offense really threatening now.
Boy, how about that play, Chris? That thing just opened up. The back shot through there with great acceleration. What a pickup there on 1st down.
1st down here for this offense. They'll ride the back again here. Only a small gain. Now looking at 2nd and 9.
You know, in the RPO game, the quarterback's got to make really sound decisions on that read. You either give it when it's the right time or you pull it out and make the throw. Here, I think he's kind of in that gray area, decides to hand it off and at least picked up some positive yards.
Running out of time in the pocket. Cannot escape, and down he goes.
How about Notre Dame sending a backer here? He comes up with the sack. A little Rudy magic on this one. And, boy, they've had some great linebacker play over the years. Of course, think about Manti Te'o, Jalen Smith, who's now in the NFL and had a great career in South Bend. Notre Dame with great history in playing linebacker.
Incomplete. He was hit as he threw the ball. That's a big 3rd down defensive play. They're going for it, but the offense needs 13 yards on this 4th down. And the quarterback drops back looking for an open man. Fired into a tight window and picked off. Can he take it all the way? He's at the 50. Now the 40. Inside the 20. Return to pick 6. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Now they line up to kick the extra point. With the PHC, they take a 14-0 lead. Now they get set to kick it away.
Notre Dame 14, Tennessee 0. Return runs out of bounds.
Should be the last play of the quarter coming up. They're going to run it. Breaking free at the 35. And they get him down to wrap up the 1st period of play.
That's the end of the 1st quarter. With the score, Notre Dame 14, Tennessee 0.
Back at it to start the quarter. Offense getting set to run a 1st down play. On the shotgun, he's probing the secondary. Caught over the middle. It's Lewis.
You see more and more offenses in college football going to 3 receivers, and the slot receiver a lot of times can become the go-to guy. He gets mismatches against either safeties, a nickelback, or a linebacker walked out, and you can take advantage of it.
Shotgun formation. Here's an inside handoff. And he'll get the 1st down yards before they finally bring him down.
Look, I realize on any play call, when it's properly executed, it can go to the house for a touchdown. But the runs that really make a game plan work are the ones where you get just what you need. And he barely got the 1st down, but he got it.
The junior able to bring him down quickly.
See, that's how you limit what an offense wants to do. This time, the defense just wanting to battle up front at the line of scrimmage, not giving up any big plays. Everybody's gap sound. It's really solid defense on that play.
Looking for his back. And the pass is intercepted. A takeaway for the defense. That's a short return, but the pick wipes out a scoring threat and sets up the offense at the 33. And the Fighting Irish offense comes back out onto the field. They scored a touchdown on their last possession. Let's see if this defense can make adjustments and prevent that this time. He's moving out of the pocket. Took contact on the throw. That's incomplete. Even on a 1st down pass attempt, he felt heavy pressure.
Well, this quarterback's trying to do everything he can to give this play a chance. He gets out of the pressure off to his right. Man, did he take a hit and wasn't able to complete this pass.
He's back to throw again on 2nd and 10. Oh, the pass is picked off. He's got some room and some blockers here. At the 10 now. Going to take it all the way in. Pick 6. Touchdown, Volunteers.
You know, we talked to him during the week, and he told me he was a high school corner. And I can see why. He's got tremendous ball skills to make that play and then to be able to take it all the way back for a touchdown. Just outstanding.
The extra point, they're down 14-7 now. Kickoff teams come on the field now to send this one away. And it comes out to the 25. No return attempted there. And the Notre Dame offense back out on the field. They have got to bounce back on this possession after throwing a pick 6 last time out here. Testing the defense with a throw downfield. And the pass caught inside the 15. No stopping him. Takes it all the way. Touchdown, Fighting Irish. So they'll try to add to the lead now with the PAT. With the extra point, the lead is 14. Getting set to kick the ball off now.
Notre Dame 21, Tennessee 7.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone. The offense will start at the 25. Fresh set of downs for the offense. First down. The back's got it. And the defense able to hold him there to a short gain.
He's back at the 26. Brings up 2nd down.
Now it's 2nd down here. From the gun, he looks for an open man. And the junior able to get home with the sack. Looks like a player is down injured at that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check it out. Well, a serious challenge for this offense. You don't want to be in 3rd and long inside your own 20. How much of a risk will they take to try to pick up this first down? Quick completion to the tight end. Runs through a tackle. He's got space here. And they wrap him up after the completion just short of the first down marker.
Great job here by the defense. 3rd down and long. You drop back in coverage, keep everything in front of you, force that quarterback to have to check the ball down, and then you rally to the football to force this 4th down. Great job here by the D.
Needs a completion here on 4th down. And he can't connect. The gamble doesn't pay off.
Oh, my gosh, a drop pass here on this 4th down play. Everything was perfect. The execution is there. The route is nice. The ball is on the money. All he has to do is catch it, and it's a first down, and he drops it. This one could come back to haunt him.
And the Fighting Irish offense is back on the field. Last time out, a one-play touchdown drive through the air. Can they keep it going here? He's running out of time here. That's caught. It's called.
One thing I love about this back is how he gets involved in the passing game. Nice catch here.
Offense getting set. It's 2nd down. Off the play fake. Looking to throw the football. Quarterback leaves the pocket on the move now. Finds that big tight end for a short pass. And the defense swarms. Not much of a gain on that completion.
Boy, that's pretty good coverage here by this defense. Not much of a window to throw this ball into, but the quarterback's accuracy and the size of the tight end picks up a nice gain.
On 3rd down, he drops to throw. Lets it fly to the wideout. Pass incomplete under heavy pressure. Just got it away.
Hey, the good news is here, Chris, they're still in field goal range, and they didn't cost themselves any points. But they could have more. Got to be thinking about going for this on 4th and short.
So they'll settle for a field goal attempt here. And that is no good. Lead remains at 4. The miss.
That's a missed opportunity for some points here. The way they were moving the football, I thought maybe a touchdown, at the very least 3 points, but instead, he shanks it.
And the Volunteers' powerful offense back out in the field. Last time out there, they got stopped on 4th down, but it didn't cost them anything. Let's see what the mindset is here. Passes the 40. They stop him at the 45, but that's good for a first down. A running play gives the offense a fresh set of downs. Linebackers trying to confuse this offense now. They'll keep it on the ground with the draw play. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1.
How about the defense on this play right here? Chris, they go with a draw play to try to take an advantage of an aggressive defense that's pinning their ears to get upfield. But instead, it was almost like the defense was expecting the run. They're not surprised at all. They make a great play.
It's incomplete. That was caused by the defensive pressure. And now it brings up 3rd down.
I'm not sure the quarterback makes the right decision on this one. I think if he'd do it over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision. That one's incomplete.
Makes the throw across the middle of the field. He makes the grab. And this offense picks up the first down. They tackle him at the 44.
Chris, that's another positive game for this offense, and this quarterback continues to show why he's had such a great year this year. When he has time to throw, he gets his feet set. He's as accurate as any quarterback in the country.
They bring him down, but a big chunk of yardage on the play.
The defense is spread all over the field, creating some one-on-one matchups, and the quarterback makes them pay for it.
First down here. Time for one more play before the clock stops for the 2-minute warning. They make the stop, but not before a solid gain that time. Now a chance to cut into this lead before halftime. It's 1st and goal. And the back gets the football. And he's tackled down at the 4-yard line. Defense getting pushed back.
A pretty good push up front here by this offensive line to get some positive yards here. You wonder if they're going to be able to run it in, or they're going to have to spread this defense out and try to find a one-on-one matchup to put the ball through the air for the touchdown.
Pass ball is incomplete. There was a lot of contact. No penalty. Brings up 3rd down. Quarterback now all alone in the backfield. Takes the snap and takes off on the run. And he gets to the end zone. Touchdown, Vols.
Chris, we're still early in this football game. We're in the 2nd quarter. This is a critical touchdown to get their confidence to believe that they can come back and still win this game.
Extra point try coming now. PAT up and good to get a little bit closer. Now the kickoff team is out on the field. And he'll lead the kickoff right there. They'll start from the 25. Comes the Notre Dame offense back onto the field. They need something out of this possession. The last time they settled for a field goal attempt, but then they missed it. Grab behind the line. It's Paul. And he's brought down, but there is a penalty marker out there. Let's check out this call. Pretty easy call for the head coach. He will accept that penalty, of course. First down play call coming up. How aggressive will it be? They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And it's incomplete. Even on a first down throw, he was under some heavy pressure.
Some players just have a real knack for timing their jump, and that defender was able to get a big paw on the ball and bat it away.
Defense is coming after him. But only a 1-yard gain, so it's 3rd and 9. Notre Dame comes to the line quickly. And he'll drop back here on 3rd down. The pass rush closing in. On the junior gets home, making a sack there. And a timeout is called. Important stage late here in the second quarter.
This is good pressure by the defense, but it just felt like the quarterback was holding on to the ball a little bit too long, which allowed the defense to get home.
This one is out of bounds, and that'll give the offense great field position. And Tennessee's offense back out on the field now. If they want to cut into this lead before halftime, they have to work quickly now. Quarterback pre-snap adjustments now for this defense. First play of the drive, they're going to throw the football. It's incomplete. He was hit as he threw. Good pass rush there on first down.
And you got to love this if you're defensive coordinator. It's all about affecting the quarterback and getting pressure on him. This time they got to him and forced that incompletion.
After the incompletion, QB tries it again on 2nd and 10. And he finds a wide-open receiver. They forgot about him downfield.
Boy, another positive game for this offense, and this quarterback continues to show how dangerous he is when he has time to throw. The defensive coordinator's got to change up his looks, maybe bring in the blitz, anything they can do to get this quarterback out of this rhythm.
He picks up the first down, but gets drilled on the tackle. The Volunteers come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. First down, they're going to throw the football. He's got an open man downfield, and it's caught. Tackled at the 5-yard line. Now it's 1st and goal right there. Offense stops the clock with their 2nd timeout to talk strategy. First down and goal. Can the defense force a field goal and keep the lead at halftime? Quarterback drops back from the shotgun, looking for a receiver. Brought down at the 2 after the catch. The offense close to punching it in. They'll crank up the tempo here with the clock ticking down. 2nd down. From the shotgun, drops back looking for an open man. And the pass is incomplete just across the goal line.
Really good job here by the defense in coverage. Did a nice job here of staying in phase with the receiver. There's no chance for a completion at all.
The pass is off target. He got hit as he threw as the 3rd down pressure worked.
The quarterback did all he could here to wait until the last possible moment, but he waits just a hair too long, which allows the defense to actually hit him as he throws the ball.
Oh, they've stopped him short. What a 4th down play, and they will take over on downs now. So the offense takes the field in the final seconds of the half. Chance for just a couple more plays. Ball handed off. The sophomore able to bring him down quickly. So a timeout is called. Just a few seconds left here in the first half. And wow, listen to this crowd noise. This stadium is vibrating. That's why this is such a tough place for visitors to play. And a decent gain there before the defense brings him down. The offense will take their first time out of the half to talk strategy here. Time ticking away. Time for just one more play before halftime. It's 3rd down. Quarterback in the shotgun. The pocket breaking down. They got him. It's a sack. The defense will take some momentum to halftime after that one. Minute's going to wrap up the first half here. Let's kick it now to Kevin Connors with our halftime update. Notre Dame will kick it off to start the second half. So no return here. He takes it in the end zone, and they'll begin the drive at the 25. Volunteers' high-tempo offense is back out on the field. First play of the second half is a handoff. The gain moves the ball to the 34, and the Vols will hustle to the line to crank the tempo. Handoff here from the shotgun. Tackled at the 35, good enough for a first down.
Hey, it's not a lot, but you know what? It's enough for the first down. Move those sticks and keep this drive going.
It's an important first down on that running play. Off the play fake, looking to throw. Lets it go. Wow, a third pick tonight by the QB. Big takeaway, now looking for a big return. That's a potential game changer, the pick and the big return.
Well, this defense has been great the entire football game here. They knew they had a lot of pressure on them in the playoff. They stepped up and played well all game long, and now they get a critical interception here late in this game.
Escapes the pocket. Quarterback gets down to avoid the big hit.
Chris, watch him work through his progressions here. Finds the first and the second option aren't there. By the third option, he's got to pull it down and try to pick up some positive yards, which he did, and then he slides down to avoid the big hit.
Quarterback looking to pass here on second down. Nothing open downfield, so he'll just throw it away.
Man, I like this play. Not only is it the right play, throwing it away like that, but given that he had no other option, he just did what he's supposed to do to survive and get ready for this next down.
So now it's third and short from the 23. Potential four-down territory. Let's see what the third down call is. Try and muscle for the first down. Tackled, but only after picking up a fresh set of downs.
Well, they continue to play good football up front. Nice run, nice conversion here, and most importantly, working with that lead, you keep working that clock. You're trying to advance to that next round of the postseason.
Play action here on first down. Bringing pressure. He's hit as he throws it. Makes the grab in the end zone. Touchdown, Irish. Well, Kirk, this quarterback told us this is my time to shine, a playoff game. He has gone out and backed that up so far.
Yeah, he's done everything that's been asked of him and more. Just a great job of getting into a rhythm. Really tough to defend. Right now, the defensive coordinator, you can see him down there. He's throwing his headset. He's frustrated. He's got to come up with some new wrinkles to try to slow this guy down.
This one is not returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone. Tennessee's high-powered offense is back out on the field. This drive is important. Last one ended in an interception. Let's see if they can get it going here. They bring him down to the 32-yard line.
Great job by the offensive line here, opening up some holes and giving the running back room to run on first down. Plays like this can open up the playbook for the play caller, allow him to make that defense think, are they going to run? Maybe play action, maybe throw the ball downfield.
Third down. This offense could really use a conversion here, down multiple scores. And they pick up the first on the ground. The Vols look to keep this drive moving.
This is why they're in the playoff, right? Not just the ability to throw the ball, but you get to a critical moment, a third down, you trust that offensive line to come up with a first down, and they get it. Quarterback
escapes the pocket and takes off. And he's intercepted for the fourth time tonight. And he's wrapped up after a solid return.
Boy, would this quarterback love to have this one back. They're trying to work themselves back into this game here in the second half. And the defense comes up with a big turnover that could be the nail in the coffin.
And the Fighting Irish offense comes back out onto the field. They reached the end zone the last time out, trying to do the same thing here. Grab down the middle. It's Siegel. They bring him down, but that's a solid gain on the play.
That's a big-time play by this wide receiver from Notre Dame. You think about Notre Dame teams that have been able to get up into the national scene. They always seem to have a difference maker out on the perimeter, going way back to Tim Brown, who won a Heisman.
There's a shot toward the end zone. The pass is intercepted. Follows the pick with a nice return before finally being brought down.
Wow, a risky call by the offensive coordinator, playing with the lead in the playoff in the second half, throwing the football. I don't disagree with it, but now you give this defense a chance to create a turnover, and they capitalize here with the pick.
And they'll fling this one deep down the middle. Deep ball is caught for a huge gain here. Tackle made quickly, but a big chunk play for this offense through the air.
Just excellent execution here by the offense. They've set themselves up nicely now into the red zone to see if they can come up with a touchdown.
From the shotgun, here's an inside give. Got a lane. Can he get in? Touchdown, Tennessee. Still plenty of life left. That's a crucial score. Let's see if they can build momentum and complete this comeback.
Well, I know they're still trailing, but that score is a great first step in trying to break down this lead. You don't want to leave it all to the fourth quarter when the pressure really intensifies and you have limited time.
And they'll set up for the PAT. And the point after gets them within a touchdown, 28-21. Kickoff team is on the field to boot this one away. This one will be fair caught. And the Notre Dame offense back out on the field. The last possession ended in an interception. Let's see if they continue to trust this quarterback in the passing game. He's moving out of the pocket. Excellent protection all day to throw. Brings it now to the left. And the pass is dropped incomplete, but it had a huge gain. Took his eye off the ball.
I love how this quarterback, Chris, is able to keep this play alive by scrambling away from that pressure, getting to his left, buying some time, just unable to connect to his receiver downfield.
And the completion makes it second down. There's some pre-snap movement, back in motion. He's going to take off here. Breaks loose at the 40. They stop him out at the 42. That's a solid gain, getting closer to midfield.
These are the kind of plays that keep defensive coordinators up at night. You spend so much time putting your plan together to stop the pass, and then nobody accounts for the quarterback on a run.
On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. Gets the ball off as he's hit, but it's incomplete.
Well, this quarterback's having one of those games you just dream about. A lot of yards and a lot of touchdown passes. And in fact, he had open receivers again for another big play. The defense finally got pressure on him, or I think it would have been potentially another touchdown.
He's back to throw again on 2nd down. Makes the catch downfield. Big play. Moves the ball all the way to the plus 35.
Chris, really, that's all you want to see from this offense is the ability to just be efficient. If you can just avoid the mistake, make those first downs, be a great compliment to what you want to do running the football. It's a great chance of putting enough points up on the board to win this game.
Pressure is coming. Makes the grab. It's Siegel. Tackle made after a big gain.
Chris, the more we watch these spread offenses attack in today's game, it's not just about the vertical shots with the taller receivers on the outside. Defenses are challenged even more by those smaller slot receivers and their quickness in space.
They've got him. It's a sack for the defense.
Finally, the defense is able to come up with a play on this drive. Let's face it, this offense has been able to put things together. The quarterback's had a nice drive, but finally, great job of getting the pressure and getting after that quarterback.
Catch made in the end zone. Touchdown, Notre Dame. So they'll try to add to the lead now with the PAT. And the kick is up and good. They tack on a point to their lead. kickoff team on the field getting set now.
Notre Dame, 35. Tennessee, 21.
On the kickoff is hammered, sails out the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the Volunteers' powerful offense back out in the field. They punched it into the end zone the last time. Let's see if this defense has made some adjustments to stop them this time. Brought down after a 7-yard gain, so it's 2nd and 3.
Just a good job here by the quarterback. Got the ball out to his receiver. His guy eats up some yards. They stay ahead of the sticks.
2nd down after that run on the previous play. Offense looking to throw the ball. Quarterback escapes the pocket. On the move, but can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
And just like that, you squeeze the life out of this offense. That's another sack by this defense. They have been in that backfield the entire game, and a big reason why these guys are enjoying a lead.
He's got his man open downfield. They finally make the tackle, but the big gain moves the ball across midfield to the 47.
Good job by this offensive line, and a great throw by the quarterback to get that first down there on 3rd down. It's exactly what they needed to do. This is too big of a game. They've come too far. They're in the playoff. You're down in the second half. Good job of keeping this drive alive.
They bring him down, but the veteran quarterback shows off that trademark arm strength. And the Volunteers are moving quickly down the field. On 1st and 10, looking to throw. Fires it to the wideout. And that's interception number 5. When will this QB get the hook? Finally able to take him down, but that's a great return after the pick.
Well, it looks like somebody did a great job of preparing himself to get ready for this football game. It's his 2nd interception in this game so far. Obviously reviewed the tape, is locked in on his fundamentals. That's a big-time player making big-time plays.
Tried to press the ball deep, but it's incomplete. Notre Dame comes to the line quickly. Second down, looking to throw it. That's the 3rd pick tonight thrown by this QB. Look out, he's got some space. Finally steps out of bounds after a long return. What a play by the defense.
What a play by the defense. Really, the only way they can get back into this game is to create a turnover. They get an interception, and they're in business.
The shotgun running play call. Defense stops him, but that's a solid gain.
He's brought down at the 18-yard line. That's the end of the 3rd quarter play. With the score, Notre Dame, 35. Tennessee, 21.
Here we go. First play of the quarter. Offense setting up for a 2nd down play. Quarterback looking to connect with the receiver here. He cannot escape the defense with a sack.
Well, that takes the wind right out of your sails. This offense is trying to find a way to get back into this game, and another pressure and a sack against their quarterback.
Now it's 3rd and short from the 22. You expect this is 4-down territory. Let's see what they do on 3rd down. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. Incomplete. He was hit as he threw the football there on 3rd down.
Hey, it's an incompletion, but it's a nice job by the quarterback. I know it didn't pan out, but the most important thing is he didn't turn the football over and he didn't take a sack. It'll give your kicker a chance to put some points on the board if they opt for the field goal here on 4th down.
Trying for a 4th down completion. Makes the catch, and that is enough for a 1st down. Touchdown, Volunteers. And the comeback is on. That's a crucial score, Kirk. Makes it a 1-possession game and makes the stretch run of this very interesting.
Yeah, now the pressure turns to their opponent and their offense. The momentum is starting to tilt, and it's your job to go into your 4-minute offense. But I'd expect this defense to be extra aggressive to try to get this ball back.
didn't quite get the playoff in time. It'll be delay of game. And the head coach will decide to accept the penalty and take the yardage. Kicking team on now for the extra point. The extra point is good. Cuts it to a 7-point game, 35-28. Here's the kickoff team. Let's see if they give their returner an opportunity to bring this back. Doesn't bring the kick out. Touchback. They'll start at the 25. Is important. Last one and an interception. Let's see if they can get it going here. Off the play fake on first down. He's escaping the pocket now. There's contact on the throw. That's incomplete. Even on a first down pass attempt, he felt heavy pressure.
Well, there's nothing like pressure to affect the accuracy and the timing of the quarterback trying to throw a football. And on this play, they end up flushing him out to his left, contacted him as he's trying to throw the football. That's what led to this incompletion.
And he's back to throw again after that incompletion on first down. He's going to take off. Stopped right there at the line. No gain.
Well, defense does a nice job of pressuring the quarterback. I'll tell you what, that's a heck of an effort by this guy just to be able to get back close to the line of scrimmage.
Tough situation with the offense. 3rd and long from their 25. We'll see if the defense brings some heat here. Dropping back, looking to throw for the first down. Looking for the wideout. Falls incomplete, broken up by the defender nicely that time.
Chris, I just don't know about this call. I like the aggressive approach, but at this point, late in the game, playing with the lead, 3rd down and long, maybe you run the ball. You know, work that clock. Continue to think about the big picture. Now you're facing 4th down and long, and I think you got to punt it away and hope the defense can secure a victory.
Tennessee's offense back out on the field now. And they'll give it to the back. Breaks loose at the 40. Tackle made after a nice pickup on the play.
Sometimes I almost get mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, the eyes that carry their feet to the open space, making people miss. I just love watching those guys do well.
Catch made by the tight end. And he's brought down, but there is a flag on the field. Let's check out this call. The officials make the easy call. Quarterback was well past the line of scrimmage before throwing the ball. Offense in a split backfield now. Quarterback looking to throw it on 2nd down. He's moving out of the pocket now. That's a nice scramble there, a big gain, but not enough for the first down. So the offense getting set. This is not where you want to be against this defense. 3rd and long. It's a quick grab. Breaks loose at the 40. Oh, and he's free down the left side. Can they run him down? Touchdown, Vols. No chance to catch him.
What a well-designed play here by this offense to get the ball to the gifted tight end. Of course, he's got the size, but here he shows you the speed that he has in outrunning the secondary into the end zone for a big touchdown.
And that PAT gives us a tie ball game here in the final quarter. Here's the kickoff team now, set to boot this one away. field. They were held to a quick 3-and-out last time, looking to put together a positive drive here. They bring him down just short of the marker, inches away from the first down.
Love those positive yards on 1st and 10, and it's not quite a first down. Looks like it'll bring second inches, but sure does open up the playbook here to be able to open up, maybe take a shot downfield.
Takes the handoff, and he'll head left. They've got him, but not before making first down yards. They'll move the ball to the 41.
You know, offensive linemen are just a certain breed. They're always going to do their job, no matter who's back there carrying the ball. I'll tell you what, they have a little bit more confidence when the person that's carrying the ball can break off some big-time runs. That makes them block just a little bit harder, knowing what he's potentially capable of doing.
And it's incomplete, even on a first down throw. He was under some heavy pressure.
Well, the pass rush does a good job of chasing him out of the pocket. He's trying to buy some time looking downfield, but he better be careful being too patient. He gets hit as he throws his football, and it falls incomplete.
Looking to pass here on second down. And here comes a deep shot. And he's got it for a huge gain, brought down at the 30. They bring him down, but not before he picks up first and goal yardage to the 9.
What a pitch and catch by the quarterback and receiver for a big gain for this offense.
So that huge gain quickly sets up a first and goal just inside the 10. Running out of time in the pocket. It's incomplete. He was hit as he threw. Good pass rush there on first down.
I think he predetermined where to go with his football. Really didn't give himself a chance to work through his progressions. Locked into his primary, tried to force it in there, and it doesn't work out.
And he finds his tight end for the catch. Tackled after the completion, down at the 1-yard line. As the tight end flexed out into the slot, looking for a matchup there, Kirk.
Well, it is a matchup because he has the size where he's very difficult to be able to match up for his safety, and he's got the speed to be able to outrun a linebacker. That's why they like...
Touchdown, Fighting Irish. And they'll claim the fourth quarter lead.
I'm a little bit surprised here, Chris. I thought they might put the ball in the air here on 3rd and goal, but instead they run the football, keep it on the ground, and they get the touchdown.
PAT is up and good. They lead by a touchdown here in the fourth quarter. Kickoff team is on the field. Let's see if they give the returner a chance to bring this one back. Kick bounces out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the Volunteers' high-tempo offense is back out on the field. They'll try the ground game here with the running back. Stop at the 36. That's good enough to move the sticks.
You know, everybody always wants to talk about quarterbacks today and receivers, and don't get me wrong, that's a big part of the evolution of the game and where we are. But, man, for me, as a fan, when I'm watching a game, there's just something satisfying about the teams and the offenses that still have backs that can carry the ball and come up with plays like that. Move those sticks and keep this drive going.
We've reached the 2-minute warning now. Can this offense come away with a late comeback victory? This could be a dramatic finish, marching toward a tying touchdown. It's 1st and 10. He hands it off from the gun. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1.
Well, the back just had nowhere to go. How about the defensive line? They eat up all the blocks up front, freeing those linebackers up to be able to make the play. Just a bad play all around for this offense.
They'll look to throw it here on 2nd down. Lets it go quickly. Catch made on the right side. That's a big gain. And they tackle him, but not before a huge gain down near the 26.
Well, I'll tell you what, this guy's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. And here we are, late in the game. He needs to continue to play with that consistency. And that's a great example that he's up to it.
From the shotgun, handoff inside.
Hey, nice RPO here by the offense. Defense is going to sit back, make it easy on the quarterback, hand it off up the middle. Nice, solid game. Stay ahead of the chains.
From the shotgun, it's a handoff. second effort. Their defense cannot stop him short of the mark.
Well, much like what we saw in the first half, Chris, of this playoff game, no adjustments. Go right back to giving this running back to football. He's had a monster day and continues to get positive yards.
The Volunteers with 1st and 10 here. Will he score here? Really solid first down gain. He's just short of the marker, so maybe a chance here to take a downfield shot.
Boy, positive yards there on 1st and 10. Good job up front by that offensive line. Good hard running by this running back. And now you got a lot of options. That playbook can really open up on 2nd and inches.
And they stop him just short. The defense really backed up now. It's 1st and goal. Now they've got to hustle to the line and get set. Now they'll switch it up, looking to throw the ball here. And they hit him just as he releases the ball. It's incomplete.
I mean, this defense is having their way with this offensive line. That poor quarterback doesn't have a chance. Every time he drops back to throw, he's getting earholed. You better make some adjustments up front to give your poor quarterback a chance.
They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. And a quick timeout call by the offense after the play, trying to preserve as much clock as possible. Urgency here. Got to cut into this lead. It's 3rd down and goal. He's running out of time here. And he's hit right as he throws it. Incomplete.
Oh, he just missed his receiver there on 3rd and short. Now you got to think in the 4th quarter, 4th and short, you got to try to cut into this lead. You might want to go for this here to keep thinking about 6 points.
And the quarterback tucks it and takes off as a design run. And he runs it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee.
What a touchdown here to pull them within 1 with under a minute to go. Conventional wisdom says you kick the extra point and you rely on your defense to send this game to overtime. But you could go for 2 to try to take the lead.
Empty backfield now as they go for 2. Now the timeout is called by the defense. They've got some things to work out here. Now they'll empty the backfield on this 2-point conversion. Quarterback drops back, probing the secondary. He'll make it into the end zone. They gamble, and it works. They now lead by 1 here in the 4th quarter. The kickoff team on the field now as they get set to send this one away. And the return man decides to signal fair catch. And the Fighting Irish offense comes back out onto the field. Interesting strategic decision. They've got some time to work with. Will they play for a field goal or take a shot at the touchdown and win it here? Works downfield and finds a receiver who worked his way wide open. The offense will spend a timeout here. 25 seconds on the clock.
You know, we talked this week with the offensive coordinator about what makes this receiver so special. He kept referring to his route running. Here's an example of that. Great route, enough separation to give the quarterback a nice lane to throw the football.
Trying to extend the play. Now in the final couple minutes, here's a deep shot. Intercepted in the end zone. Going the other way, can they stop him?
Well, that defender deserves the game ball for that game-sealing play. Now, all there is to do is run out the clock and walk out of here with a W.
So the job is simple here. Just take a knee, run out the clock, and begin the celebration. Of course, in the playoffs, it's survive and advance. This is a crucial W. Great performance, but now the stage gets even bigger. The challenges will continue going forward.
Yeah, more and more pressure will grow as this team continues to win football games, but you and I have been around this team all year long. So impressed with the emotions and how they're able to contain themselves, stay focused on the task at hand. They did that again today. They advance. Cannot wait to watch and see what they can do next week.
And that is going to wrap it up. We enjoyed this one here. For Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Chris Fowler, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.